Okay, so another week, another live training Q&A for the Six Figure Student Academy. So yeah, just a bit of an update first. I was in Mexico last week for a seven to eight figure agency mastermind in this crazy mansion villa with 20 plus agency owners, and learned a lot there. Got some really good connections and going to be feeding back some of the insights to you guys. Going to be content coming out soon. I spoke about using emotional intelligence to be able to close and sell more deals. So I'll be releasing that talk that I did at some point. A few of the things, I was recently on the reviews.io podcast. So if you search reviews.io on YouTube, it should be the first thing that comes up, and you can watch that. I talk about TikTok, the future of TikTok, talk about email marketing as well. I was on there with my co-founder and an email marketing agency owner. Anything else? Agency's been killing it the past couple of weeks, and the group's been growing nicely. But yeah, been a little bit inactive on the group just because been super busy, but back at it now. And then on today's call, yeah, anyone who's on here, I'm going to give you access to a case study that shows you how one of the students that works with me, who approached me to help them optimize their agency, actually increased one of their client fees from £600 a month to £1,400 a month. So nearly tripling, doubling, tripling what they were earning from a single client in the space of 30 days of starting to work with me. And what I'm going to do is send over a case study to anyone who's on this call, showing you exactly how I helped her do that. So anyone who's here, drop me a message on Discord, and I'll send that over to you. Just take a screenshot of the screen right now if you want. And yeah, the rest of the call, we can just go through questions. Jacob, who's on the call, is actually just joined the program. So we're kicking off tomorrow, I think it is. And I'm going to be showing him how he can start and scale his own agency. I actually don't have any spaces left now in the program at the moment, just because I'm focusing on helping the people that are already on board. And you know, as you guys probably know, that's not my main focus. I just really like to do that to help people, but main focus is the agency. But if you are interested in getting coaching, mentoring, or want to learn how to start and scale your own agency, drop me a message on Discord and I'll add you to a wait list. It's 10 plus people now already, but yeah, let me know. And this group is obviously available for free because I can help a lot of you out for free. Obviously not as focused as one-to-one, but you should be able to get enough insights, enough value from these trainings, these Q&As, this group, to be able to start your own six-figure online business. Obviously the agency business model is what I have the most experience in, but anything else that you see in this Discord channel is something that I've either made six figures from or paid out the equivalent of six figures to people to do for me, such as appointment setting, sales, UGC work, creators, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think that's a bit of an update. I'll also post in the results channel just a bit of a testimonial showing you the student, the Lucy she's called, actually explaining her experience working with me, so you guys can see that, you know, that what I just mentioned there, the case study, is legit, because I know a lot of people chat shit on TikTok and YouTube, etc. But yeah, I don't know if anyone's got any questions to begin with. If not, I can you know, provide some value as well. But I'm assuming that the people on this call had some questions. So if you want to unmute yourself or put a message in the chat, I'll go for it.
Hey Joe.
Hey man, how's it going?
Yeah, good man. Excited excited to get started tomorrow with a coaching.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought I'd just jump on here with a question more related to ecom, because obviously anything agency related, I think, is going to be pretty well covered with yourself one to one.
Yeah.
But I basically started like a drop shipping store like last Friday.
Right.
Just I didn't take much time with it or anything, set up in a couple of days or whatever. But I started running ads on Facebook, and so far every day I've been profitable.
Nice.
But I've got like 3 ad sets set up on a campaign, and within those ad sets I've got 3 different ad creatives running.
Yep.
And there's one of the ad creatives on each ad set isn't spending anywhere near the same amount as the others,
Okay.
but all its other metrics are better, as in the click-through rate, the cost per 1,000 impressions,
Yeah.
all that stuff is better than the other ad creatives, but the other ad creatives are spending a lot more. Like, I'm just looking at one here. There's let me see. Yeah, and the reach impressions, like there's one of the ad sets there has like 4,000 impressions this week, and then the ad I'm talking about here only has like 500 impressions.
Okay.
And yeah, it's spending about 1/5 of the other ads.
Okay.
So I'm just wondering what you would suggest doing there. Would you suggest killing that ad off, or what?
Yeah, so we'll dig into this in a second. Sorry, someone's just saying that they can't add into the Zoom. So let me just try and sort this out quickly. But I can definitely answer that. Make sure people can get in. Yeah, so to answer your question, just so I'm very clear on exactly what it is you're asking, you've launched some ads, and one creative within the ad set is spending nowhere near as much. Facebook's not spending as much on that as the others, but it looks to have better metrics. So you're wondering why? Is that right?
Yeah, and what to do with it? Like, although it's getting better metrics, it's not getting out there as much. So I'm thinking, is it worth keeping it running, or should I kill it and let the budget spend on the other two creatives that have a better reach and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, all it is really is it won't have spent that much money. So when you first launch the ads, Facebook tries to split it quite evenly across all of the creatives that you have, and it will have seen that, that isn't the best ad to spend. That isn't the best creative to spend money on. Although the metrics might show that it is, because it won't have spent as much as on the other creatives, the metrics will be skewed. So because you have to basically look at it as like a data pool, right? Because it hasn't spent as much money as the other ads, just statistically, it has a chance of looking like it has better metrics. But Facebook's algorithm will have decided that that isn't the best creative, because otherwise it would have spent on it. So just let Facebook's algorithms do its thing there. You don't need to cut it. Facebook's algorithm will distribute spend accordingly. The algorithm, you should have trust in the algorithm a lot of the time. You can turn that creative off if you want, but Facebook's algorithm's already decided in a way, which where to spend the money. And yeah, don't get confused with that. The worst thing to do here would be to turn the other ads off and spend just on that ad. If you want to isolate creative and test creative on its own, you need to create a specific campaign that we call a creative sandbox, where you will create one ad set, one creative, and the ad sets are all the same, but the variable is the different creative. And that's where, because you can't always rely on Facebook's algorithm, right? Sometimes it is wrong, but if you but it also is good most of the time. So if you want to really test creative, create a separate campaign, creative sandbox, all the same ad sets, each with a different creative in, see which one performs best, whichever's the winner, put that into your main campaign, and test that way. Is usually what we do.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. And just on that topic as well, how would you recommend scaling Facebook ads? Would you recommend just increasing the spend on the ad set, or I've seen people recommending just like duplicating ad sets?
Yeah, it's again, it comes down to like some things work for others, some things don't. Sometimes the algorithm it just absolutely smashes it, and sometimes it doesn't. So it depends on how much you're spending. You know, you might just be able to scale the budget that you're spending on that single campaign, single ad set, but you need to isolate variables and test aggressively first. So if you've only tested like 3 creatives or whatever, you need to test more creatives first, and test one variable at a time. So test creatives first, and then when you find a winning creative is one that is showing promise in terms of KPIs. So ideally actual profitable sales, return ad spend, profitable CPAs. If not that, you know, good levels of click through would be the second thing to fall back on. But yeah, ideally you're just looking at direct return on ad spend or a CPA that's profitable for you. And then that's a winning ad. Scale the budget that goes to that ad because you've proven that it's profitable. And then you can start testing different ad sets, different targeting options at that point, because you might find some are better than others. You might find that you even increase results. So isolate variables, test until you find something winning, and then test another variable with that other winning variable to try and optimize results there. And it's just a process of doing that. You will find that creative fatigues, that ad will not be a winning ad forever. So that's why you need to constantly be testing creative. Otherwise, you will you'll hit a brick wall and then you'll be stuck because you won't have been testing things.
Okay, yeah. And when would you recommend starting to increase your spend? If, like, as I say, I've been profitable each day. I only started on the ads on Friday there, but I was sort of waiting to see, because good sales over the weekend, and I was waiting to see how it went during weekdays. And I was maybe waiting to.
Oops, sorry, I accidentally muted you. Sorry, man. I'm trying to mute someone that just joined. 1 second. Sorry, carry on what you're saying. You were talking about weekends.
Yeah, so I started running the ads on Friday there, and I was profitable over the weekend, and then I've been profitable each day during the week as well. So I'm just wondering, when should I start increasing my ad spend? When would you recommend?
Probably now. If you're seeing profitable results, you want to jump on this opportunity. I don't know what
Okay.
it's selling, but you know, it might have a trend impact. So it might not always be popular. You might get copycats. You know, if you're seeing profitable results, you really want to jump on that opportunity. Just make sure that it's not going to impact your ability to fulfill items if it's, you know, stocks limited, that kind of stuff. But yeah, scale now if you can. Just increase budgets gradually. You know, don't be doubling budgets like from day to day. Just increase them like, you know, 10%, 20% day to day. Scale gradually.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much all the questions I have around ecom. So thank you, Joe.
No worries, man. Go check out that video on YouTube that I posted about on TikTok. It might be helpful for you.
Which one's that?
If you just search Soar with us, SOAR with.
Oh, was this your creative buyer? Your media buyer? Sorry.
Yeah, my senior media buyer put together a training recently, so
Yeah, yeah. I've actually watched it, so I have.
nice,
So yeah, that was good.
nice one, man. Yeah, he's a killer. He's spending nearly $1 million a month at the moment for our clients. So yeah, sounds good, man. Any other questions, or if anyone else has just joined, put questions in the chat or jump in, unmute yourself. Feel free.
Yeah, hi. I guess kind of on like the other side of that,
Hey, man.
in terms of like ad spend, because I'm kind of like reaching out to some people, and I guess some like business owners, like they're kind of coming back to me and they're kind of saying, okay, you know, like how much can you like do this for, like blah blah blah. So I think they're quite like big on like costs. So I think especially I'm kind of thinking, right, like while I don't necessarily have any like results like leverage, or I kind of imagine that the first few clients I'd have to do like they want to do it on like a relatively small budget until they see results before they start kind of scaling up. So I guess I'm kind of like running like Facebook ads at the moment. It's kind of like martial arts gyms, but I'm kind of like can kind of like do it depend. But I'm kind of wondering what's like the best way to get like results like on like Facebook ads with like a lower budget, or like do you have to? Because I imagine you wouldn't be able to test as many creatives or like, you know, have as many ad sets or like different, like, add like levels, because like you'd be kind of spreading the budget too thin then. But then it's like, so how do you like get results? Because I think I'm imagining you have to do like £500 or like under, maybe even like, so I'm kind of wondering if someone gives me like a budget, say, okay, like, because that's about like 10-15 pound a day, like maybe like if someone's giving like a budget, okay, you've got like £10 a day, like get me results. It's kind of like I'm a bit like, okay, shit, like would I definitely be able to do that, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, man. Firstly, easy solution, don't work with those type of businesses, which might sound like a stupid idea, might sound like you're wasting potential business. You'll sorry, just gonna, if you can, everyone can mute themselves if we're not talking. Sorry, just a bit of interruption. But yeah, so basically don't work with those kind of businesses would be the best advice, because you'll find that smaller businesses are always have bigger problems or make bigger issues. Like our best clients are like 8-9 figure brands that pay us every single month. They don't question it. They don't have like an issue with budgets. They know how business works and they respect our expertise. The smaller clients, they think they know, well, this is a very generalized way of putting it, but in my experience, smaller clients, they try and boss you around. They think they know everything. They're very tight on budgets, which is fair enough if they don't have much money. And it just means you actually are spending more time on lower ticket, lower revenue clients than higher revenue, which really doesn't make sense. And I know you said you just kind of starting out, and that might be not an option, but I would say you want to get brands that can spend at least 1,000 a month. Anything under that's going to be really difficult. If you are going to go under that as an ad budget, you really need to manage expectations and say, look, it's going to take us probably 3 months before we get any sign of results here. So, and this is what you should say to them. So, would you rather stay where you're at for 3 months? We spend 500 a month. Might seem less risky, but you stay where you're at for 3 months, and you've come to me for help, or you wanted help. You're obviously not happy with where you're at, or you actually take the jump. We spend 1,500 first month, and we actually get results in the first month, and we can scale from that point on. You're not in the same position for 3 months. At the end of the day, this is you speaking to them still. I would think it's more risky to stay in the position you're at for the next 3 months than to spend a little bit more, get results quicker, being able to test more. And then in 3 months' time, if we spend a little bit more now, we could be making you serious amounts of money. Because otherwise, if they expect results in the first month, spending £500, it's going to be really difficult to do that. You might get results, but I would really not overhype yourself. It doesn't matter how good your agency is, how good of an expert of Facebook ads you are. Getting results in 30 days on £500 is difficult unless they've already got existing campaigns and you just need to make a few tweaks. If you, hey, someone on TikTok, how are we doing? Yeah, so if you do, for example, like if you just cannot get around that and you still want to give it a shot with them, just try and leverage your the quick wins, the easy wins, which would be retargeting, bottom of funnel, retargeting email lists, retargeting social media followers, people that already are interested in the product, in the brand, whatever it is, because that'll likely be your easiest way to create conversions. But that's not sustainable, and it's not the best way to approach this. I would, even if you're going to do that, manage expectations and go in with the whole thing of like, look, you came to me for help. If you want to get results, spending this little is not going to get you there. You're going to be stuck in the same position for 3 months. And then you're going to think, maybe this isn't going to work. It's always good to use like anecdotes in that case. So, I mean, I've not had to deal with this for a while, but when I used to work with like brands that wanted to spend small amounts, I'd always say, look, this is what's going to happen. And this is based off a true story with another client. They wouldn't spend 1,000 a month, and no matter what we tried to do, they wouldn't listen to me. And I was very clear to them that if we can spend less, but it's going to take a long time, and it might mean that we have 2 months of no success, and you're going to think it doesn't work and Facebook ads don't work for you. I managed to convince them that we should go for another month. And then in the 3rd month, we were generating, I think it was like a 4x return on ad spend. So would they not have preferred to just spend a little bit more in the 1st month and get to that 4 times return on ad spend within a month rather than within, 60, 90 days? And, it's a bit of a no-brainer when you put it like that. And if someone just literally cannot afford to spend that, then they're probably not a good fit client, and you should probably move on to the next. There's thousands of businesses out there. If a business can't afford to spend over £500 a month, then you probably shouldn't be working with them.
May I ask, sorry, where do you find these good quality clients? Because, for example, like I search through, well, I do TikTok ads marketing, and well, at least trying to, and I work as a freelance UGC creator myself, and I'm trying to get into UGC creator pooling. So I find brands on Instagram, for example, that have a small following, but they sell, for example, really cool adhesive nails, which I can already see blowing up on TikTok. He'd organize a campaign of UGC creators and so on and so forth, but they might not have the budget for that. So how, where do you find the ones that do and fit your requirements? Yeah,
there's clients everywhere. That's a massive open question. Thanks for asking it first off. We find clients in all over, in every place you could possibly find them. LinkedIn, Instagram is another good place. You just have to make sure that you're qualifying them right. So the Instagram's a little bit misleading. Followers could be bought. I remember when we signed ages ago, and we signed a client at that point, was our biggest follower client, 150k followers I think at that point, and they were doing like 15 grand a month, and they'd bought all the followers. So Instagram followers is a bit misleading. Just looking at the general quality of their content, their website is a big indication. Good websites are quite costly. Good content's quite costly. So if they're investing in that, they probably have money to spend on marketing. Looking at Trustpilot, looking at other review websites to see generally how many reviews they've got, how many sales they've had. These are all free methods. If you want to actually go to paid methods, you can use softwares like Store Leads. I think it's just Store Leads, the usual spelling. Google that, it should come up. It's quite costly. You'll pay the top plan's $250 a month. There is a cheaper plan, but you can specify based on softwares they have installed, revenue, employee numbers, employee size. LinkedIn's way cheaper way to do that on employee size. You can go to, you can search businesses using Sales Navigator. That's, I think, under £100 a month. And you can really specify to see, for example, every retail brand in the UK that has 1 to 10 employees, and you'll get a list. You can go through, you get all the owner's details, the name, or you can use free LinkedIn and just search for companies and search within people's networks. But you either, when you're starting off, you either trade in any business, you trade in time, or using time or using money as a currency. When you're starting off, when you don't have much money, you have to be willing to put in the time as a way to to progress. So you might have to just spend a lot of time going through leads yourself. There's loads of softwares out there. One that I've used before, which is cheap, it's called D7 Lead Finder, but you get a lot of crap in there, but it is quite cheap. I think it's $20 a month. Using like blogs, articles, social media is a good one that you've already mentioned, but searching things like for example, one that I used to do was women's fashion boutiques and then like a specific name of a city or a town in the US or in the UK, and then sometimes people will publish articles about them, and there's like a list of brands. There's loads of ways. Like even even going down to literally walking around the town that you live in or the city that you live in. That's how I got my first 2 clients, was signing brands that worked, that were in my town. There's business everywhere, right? And how you qualify that is just looking at the quality of what they're already outputting, or simply just asking them. But yeah, I don't know if that's helpful or not, but let me know.
Of course, yeah. Thank you for answering. I've never heard of the softwares that you've introduced, so I'll take a look in those, definitely. Yeah.
No problem. I think I put a list on in Discord. Let me have a look. Yeah, if you go to SMMA, if you go to the SMMA channel, I put like a few softwares in there, and I'll keep adding some more in there. They all cost, obviously. But yeah.
Hey Joe, I've got a question.
Hey man, how's it going?
Yeah, you doing all right?
Good, thanks, man.
Yeah. Basically, when you were speaking to David, obviously, I'm in a similar situation. Obviously, I haven't got previous clients to, showcase, and I'm trying to offer TikTok advertising as well, paid advertising. How would you go around basically knowing the ins and outs of TikTok ads and being, very confident that you can deliver on that offer if you haven't done it before? Because it's one thing to offer my service on a trial, or 2 weeks free, or promise a certain amount of return on investment, but I don't actually know what I can get them realistically. So how would you go about like knowing the ins and outs of that?
Yeah. TikTok have a good free education solution. I think you should search like TikTok ad, learn TikTok ads, or TikTok business center. Let me find this. Hang on.
I've gone through them videos. They seemed a little vague.
Yeah, they're not like massively in depth, but it'll give you like a decent enough understanding. And if you've watched that, you know more about TikTok than 90%, 99% of the population. Look, there's content everywhere. There's YouTube. I learned a lot of the stuff I know today from marketing on YouTube, and then you can learn a base understanding, a really actually high level understanding if you consume enough content on YouTube. You commit 50 hours to watching TikTok ads videos on YouTube, you will know a lot of shit, and a lot more than majority of people. That's going to take time. It's going to be wasted time, finding the right kind of people. The next step from that is to get a coach, get a mentor, buy a course. Obviously that's something that I can help with, not right now. Obviously we spoke recently, capacity not quite there on my side, but just be careful who you choose. There's good low cost courses out there. I think if you go to like sites like Udemy, that kind of stuff, you'll get some low cost courses. But getting a mentor or a coach is really how you take it to the next level. But if you want to get that base level understanding and still be able to offer services confidently, YouTube's fine. YouTube is fine. You don't need to go any further than that if you want to just get started, to be honest.
Okay. In terms of setting them something where you give them a guarantee, how would you go around that? Because some people I see, like, it's very obnoxious. Like, if you don't make 100K, if we don't make you that, where do you draw the line when you're starting out? Because is it you promise them ×2 ROAS, or you get your money back, or do you go all the way to like, if we don't make you 100K, you get all your money back?
Yeah, I would kind of stay away from that stuff at your level when you're starting out. We didn't even start off running that as an offer until like the past few months. The thing is, like, whenever you have a guarantee, you need to actually make sure that whatever it is that you're guaranteeing, you're 100% confident that you can actually do that with certain criteria. So we have a guarantee of adding 100K a month to brands revenue. We're 100% confident we can deliver that, but the client needs to meet certain criteria, such as being able to spend a certain amount on ads. They need to have a certain size email list. They need to commit to a certain roadmap when it comes to creative, or investing in a certain amount of creative. They need to have shown positive growth, all these things. So if you're going to make a guarantee, make sure that whatever the criteria is that they need to meet to be, to get access to that guarantee, if they meet all of those things, then you're 100% confident that you can get them the result, which is sometimes hard to work out. That's why I think when you start out, avoid doing that, because you don't actually know really what you can do, even if you learn from people. The big issue people have is making guarantees that just sound way too good to be true, especially if you don't have anything backing it up. So our guarantee could be perceived as too good to be true, but after we say it, we have like tons of case studies that show that it's possible, because we've done it time and time again. If you don't have those case studies, the guarantee is useless, because people think you're just bullshitting. So easy things to do in your situation is offer things like a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, where if they're not happy for whatever reason, after 30 days, they don't have to keep working with you. And if you don't generate them results, you'll refund them. Trying to do things like that, that's really simple, and doesn't seem over the top, and also is still attractive and doesn't put too much pressure on you to get these like ridiculous results. If you have to refund, who cares? Like, you're just starting out. What have you really got to lose? Now's the time when you can, you technically, unless you like, well, firstly, if you're doing this and you need to make it work, you probably shouldn't be starting a business, right? It's too much pressure. You should always like have a cash reserve or have a job on the side when you're starting out, because it is really hard. It could be 3 months before you get results, especially if you don't have like a coach or a mentor. But just making sure that you're offering something that's attractive yet realistic. So for you, like I said, 30-day satisfaction guarantee, purely results based is what we did to sign one of our first big clients. We said if we don't generate you this, you don't pay us. If we do, you pay us. And they ended up paying us £1,000 for the first month. Never do free trials, because of a purely performance based structure is as risk-free as a free trial to the client, so you might as well offer it. Always get a contract signed if you're going to do that. Always get a contract signed anyway. But yeah, don't offer those massive guarantees unless you've actually done that before. That makes sense.
Well, makes sense. Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions? David, I think, obviously, answer your question. I didn't ask it. I didn't get a chance to ask if that answered everything, because I think Catherine asked one as well. Was that okay, or any other questions?
I guess it like mostly does, but just because obviously like that's kind of just on the ad spend side. I was kind of thinking, and I've kind of seen before that like your like service fee should be like roughly like equal, like not really like necessarily more than the ad spend. Because I think so, because I also was kind of thinking, okay, like 500 like ad spend, like 500 service fee, like £1,000, like kind of. So especially like starting off, because if someone like what I've found, like at least like kind of meshing, like reaching out, especially where they don't like know you and like where you're reaching out to them, I kind of feel like they kind of, or like some people kind of flat out tend to be like really like skeptical, or like what like who are you, like. And I kind of understand, because I saw like a separate video that's like, if you think it from their perspective, that a lot of them, I guess, essentially they're quite risk averse in the sense that like where they don't like know me, or like know like why can I do that, they'd kind of almost rather like stay there than like risk losing anything. So I guess it's just the kind of like like kind of being able to convince or like get them on board kind of when you're reaching out, because I kind of feel like in order to do it, it's at this stage I need to be able to first like show value, or like show, okay, this is what I can do, to then almost kind of warrant that trust and like build that trust. But it's just being able to like do that on like a smaller budget when you don't have like all the resources to play with. They're kind of just like trying to navigate that element of things seems a bit difficult, I guess.
Yeah, look, it's baby steps when you start out. My first client paid me £250 for the month, £250 ad spend, and it was difficult to get results. We did actually get results, but this was 3 years ago. Facebook was different then, and I'm not even sure the sale came from our ads. You know, not even gonna lie, but they seemed to think that it did. So, and then our second client was 500 a month. We upsold to 750 a month after the first month. Third client was a performance only. They ended up paying us 1,000. And then after that, we signed 1,500 a month, and then we only signed clients for 1,000 a month or more, really. So we took it step by step, and that was like a 6-month window, and it was 3 months of that without anything. So don't expect. I don't know how long you've been doing this, but take it step by step. Have patience. You know, if you worked at this for like 6 months and then you signed a client for 1,000 a month, and then the month after 1,000 a month, and the month after 1,000 a month, and then the month after 1,000 a month, you've gone from 0 to earning a very decent amount of money, 4K a month in under 12 months, which is still incredibly fast and incredibly, you know, that's a very proud achievement if anyone manages to do that. So try and look at the bigger picture, start small, leverage as many things as possible to begin with. So that's starting local, starting your personal network, any interests, any insights you've got, you know, family, friends, that kind of stuff. Just to get case studies, and then use those case studies aggressively to relate them to potential future clients. So if you've got experience with the martial arts gym, was it that you said, or yeah, so I mean, the results good?
Oh, like, so have I got, well, I mean, it's because I used to train, because I mean, there's like a bunch of different ones, like my friend and I, we have like a bunch of like different like niches. We're kind of considering kind of like working through them like one by one. So I used to like train a lot. So the kind of goal is that we're kind of, so it's not like ecom, it's not like we're marketing for like a sale, because a lot of them do like free trials and stuff. So it's like, hey, like, you know, we're kind of advertising, hey, go to this gym, like, you know, like kids, blah, blah, like whatever. And then so we're just trying to get them more like flow, like people to kind of come through. And then once they're like, they kind of join and like maybe like have like a session or two, then like kind of, you know, maybe like get them to like sign on. But yeah, so that's kind of the goal at the moment.
Okay.
So slightly different to ecom.
Okay, no worries. Sorry, anyone who's watching on TikTok, answering questions in the Discord on the live first. So if you want to get access to that, please join. I'll answer your questions after this otherwise. Yeah, man, look, I think to go back to your question, that's fine. If you have some sort of tangible results to show, I would aggressively be reaching out to every single fucking martial arts, even gym, even something slightly related to that in the UK, even globally. And that's where you start. You know, that's how we managed to then suddenly get a big foothold in fashion e-commerce, because the first big win we got was a fashion e-com brand, and then we just used that as a case study. So leverage anything that you've got right now. Don't try and, like, if you're reaching out to like lawyers and solicitors and dentists and realtors, real estate agents, why are you doing that? You've got experience in this martial arts gym or whatever. You should be trying to use that as a case study. You should be aggressively focusing on getting results for this client first. If you absolutely smash out the park with this client, you get a case study from them, you get a testimonial, you get a review, you get a referral, they'll know other gym owners, they'll know other people in the space. Then you might not even need to worry about doing outreach. They might even refer you your second client, your third client. We've had clients that referred us 6 other clients. So focus on service quality. Once you've got that first client, use that to then fuel your outreach and sales, because you've got then a case study and experience to show people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, perfect. And just, yeah, like last, because you did say kind of like leverage the network, and this kind of one thing I actually spoke to my like friend about, because I know some people that, like, you know, like run businesses, have their own business and stuff, but I think where I'm still quite like at this stage, and I would be kind of willing to even, you know, like kind of like run some stuff like free or whatever, but it's because where like these like kind of personal relations, I'm almost kind of like scared to like mix like business with like people you're like so close with, because like if things don't go like well, then all of a sudden they're like, well, like yeah, and it's like kind of goes back to the state where it's like they'd almost think, oh well, I'd have been better off if I'd like not even like done anything. So that's it. I don't know. I guess I probably just need to overcome that. That's probably like part of like kind of confidence and like service the delivery and stuff. But that's why I've been a little bit like hesitant, because I know some people. I've even like did like a list of, you know, business owners I know, but I don't necessarily feel confident enough to like go to them, say, hey, like even like through our, hey, like let me just because I'm almost scared like the impact of like what would that do to the relationship if things don't go like to plan necessarily.
Yeah, look, it's all communication. All communication. We need to literally just say to them, if this doesn't work, and need to lay it out on the line to them and say, look, if this doesn't work at all, like let's say it's just completely unsuccessful and I don't get you any results and you've spent $1,000 and we haven't got anything, are you going to be pissed off? Are you going to hate me? Is this going to damage our relationship? Are you going to think I've scammed you? Like, just put it out there and say to them, look, this is obviously not the goal here. I'm only coming to you because I think you can help, but I can't tell the future. And, you know, if marketing was as simple as you put money in, you get money out, then everyone would be rich. So you need to be, and this is you speaking to them, you need to realize that there's a potential that this doesn't work. And if this is going to damage your relationship, if this is going to make you hate me, if this is going to put you in financial trouble, then let's not do it. And just literally just be honest with them and just say it how it is. And then if they're pissed off with you at the end and they said they wouldn't be, then that's on them. And they're probably don't know, not a decent person. I mean, they might still be pissed off a little bit, but they have to take it on the chin because they've said that they're not going to be bothered. People sometimes forget that communication is all it takes. So just literally throw it out there on the line, say it to them. If you're still hesitant to do it, then don't do it. But it's your best shot at getting a case study, at getting a client. A good thing as well that a lot of beginners miss out on is if you truly look at a business that wants to work with you, and I've been guilty for this myself. If you truly look at a business and you just think, wow, that is crap, like that's just not going to work, just don't work with them. And it's really hard to do that in the beginning when you have someone willing to work with you and they want to pay you £500, £1,000, whatever. It's really hard to do that, but it's honestly going to be more trouble than it's worth. And it's going to leave you with a really horrible taste in your mouth, thinking that you knew going into this, it's not going to work. And you still went ahead with it, and you're going to feel you're going to feel horrible about yourself. So yeah, don't try and avoid that. It's easier said than done. But yeah, sometimes it's ballsy to do that. And I know it's easier said than done saying that to someone like, look, this might not work. But if you're too scared to kind of say that anyway, then that's probably an indication you need to work on those like sales skills, communication skills as a first point, because you need to be able to have those conversations in business.
Thank you, Joe.
No worries, man. Thank you very much for the question. I really appreciate your engagement, and yeah, keep it up in the group as well.
Hi. Yeah. May I also ask, can you please speak about your experience with that client you said that had a small budget, but you managed to get them some results? I'm really curious. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a client. They sold what are called fascinators, which are basically those big fancy flowery hats that women wear at the races, at horse races, if you've seen that. It was a local store in my town, and the woman was a family friend. Sorry, that's a bit of an exaggeration. She went to school with my mum basically, and I think I literally rang her up one day and just said, hey, I'm X person's son. I think you went to school with her. I'm at university. I'm starting a business, and I'm reaching out to local businesses who I think have the potential to do well online. Can I come in and show you how I think I can help you make some more online sales. And that connection with my mum was the reason I got the meeting. I'm not going to try and doubt that whatsoever, which is why I'd say local personal network's the best place to start. Went in and basically just overloaded her with value in terms of like what's possible online. I was honest. I didn't try and bullshit. I had case studies. I said, look, this is the first time I'm doing it, but I've learned off someone that knows what they're doing. Here's what other brands are doing. Showed competitors are doing this. Showed her that it is possible, and was open about it and said, look, this might not work, but other people are doing it. And you want to basically get people to sell themselves in any sales situation. So you say things like, look, this is one of your competitors. You think they're better than you? Be honest. And they're always, most of the time, business owners are going to say no. They think they're the best. So you say, look, if they're getting results, why do you think you couldn't? We can literally use their strategy as inspiration and just make it better. She sold herself. We got to go. Paid us 250 quid, £250 ad spend. The website was completely archaic, like Windows XP 90s style. Worst website I've ever seen, on the back end especially. So we couldn't even set up pixel tracking. We couldn't even really know what was going on. We just ran Facebook ads, and she got a sale online, and she'd not had a sale online for like 6 months. And she thought it was down to us. And then we got a few more sales, worked for like 3-4 months. And then, we just struggled too much with trying to scale. We were showing her that she should spend more. She didn't want to. She was going through personal stuff. I think we might have increased the fee a little bit, but I honestly can't remember. And then, we literally used that case study, walked into another, or maybe cold called. I think I cold called and then walked in to another local shop and said, hey, do you know this shop? Worked them on Facebook ads, gotten these results. You guys are doing nothing. Can I have a try at helping you do the same? And then absolutely smashed out the park for them. They were selling fireplaces, and we got them, shit you not, it was like £1 leads for people interested in £400 minimum fireplaces. Some of them are like £4,000 log burning stoves. And the guy should have made 6 figures of sales, but he was the only guy following up with the leads. He wouldn't call leads for like 2 weeks, and then he would complain that he wasn't getting any return on investment from the ads. You should be calling leads within 20 minutes of them coming through Facebook ads. So we tried to tell that to him. He didn't have the capacity to do that. And we worked with him for about 3 or 4 months, and that fizzled out because he wasn't able to actually convert the leads we were generating. And then we got an ecom client. And then that was basically, from that point on, we scaled not purely, but mainly into ecom. Let me know if any questions.
Yeah, thank you very much. That definitely sounds really interesting. Yeah. So what was your process from like Facebook to TikTok essentially? Well, is it because you discovered that TikTok essentially is well, I guess more used? It is the #1 most downloaded app on the whole entire planet, so it's kind of better for products. Yeah, definitely. Not for service business.
I don't know how much you know about what I do. I know I speak a lot about TikTok. I own 2 agencies. One agency is just TikTok focused.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's all good.
Sorry, didn't know that.
That's all right. The other agency is basically the agency that started from where I just spoke about, and now that's evolved into offering. We offer Facebook ads still. We spent 13.8 million on Facebook ads last year for that business. We also do TikTok ads, Google, email marketing, SMS marketing. But I set up another agency, separate agency called For You Advertising that just does TikTok at the start of last year with 3 other co-founders. And that was just to jump on the trend of TikTok becoming a new platform, but still run both agencies. Both agencies, will do multi-7 figures this year. The shift, there wasn't really a shift away, it was an addition and adapting and being able to provide TikTok as well. And that's just because, like you said, it was it's becoming more, it was definitely much more hyped then. It was brand new, and it's still completely underutilized as a marketing platform. We have conversations with huge brands. I had a conversation with a multi-billion-pound brand last year, and we're probably going to sign them this year that still hasn't done anything on TikTok. So it's just completely new platform to a lot of brands, meaning it's a big opportunity for people that know how to use the platform to make money with it, such as a TikTok agency, which is what you're trying to do. So yeah, I'll answer your question. I don't know.
Of course, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll leave the opportunity for others to ask questions.
All right.
As well.
No worries. A few questions on TikTok. I'll answer quickly. What do you think of the state of advertising now? How best to succeed? Broad question. Again, like kind of what I just said, focus on what is new, what is underskilled, underserviced. Yeah. I would oh yeah, as someone who owns an e-commerce brand, so that's a different type of question. You know, if you need to firstly define who your ideal customer is, your ICP, ideal customer profile, your customer avatar, and then decide which platform is best for you based on that. If you've got 50+ demographic, Facebook will probably be better than TikTok. And yeah, you need to make sure that you tailor the creative that you're using in ads to those customers. And there's loads of things that goes into it. You know, that's why literally I have a company that does that, because it's a very complicated thing. Do you think retargeting ads with a landing page and a lead magnet are a good strategy? Yeah. Run cold traffic to a landing page with an offer, then retarget people with a lead magnet, or retarget people that have already seen a lead magnet. Yeah. Ciao, I'm from Italy, Naples. Nice. Ciao. I'd like to know more about SaaS. In Italy, it's not a widespread yet. Okay, what do you want to know? It's a big question. There's a lot goes into SaaS. Software as a service, if people don't know. But yeah, anyone else in the Zoom got any questions? Because I'm going to go, otherwise I need to jump off.
Yeah, I've got a question. When it comes to hiring, for example, a virtual assistant in your business to take care of your outreach and to try and hit the volume that you want, what would you say in terms of that process? How would you first find them? Because I know there's platforms like Upwork and stuff like that. And how would you qualify them and train them to, do that for you? Would you, give them your email accounts, your social accounts, and then let them do it through that? Or
yeah, good question. We've hired our VAs through Upwork, and we use a VA agency called I've forgotten what they're called, but if you want me to send that, I'll send it afterwards. That's quite expensive though, so I think they charge a minimum of $1,200 or $1,400 a month, something like that, dollars, and that's just because they guarantee to source a VA that has had management experience, and also they do all the vetting, they do all of the HR, they do all of the training, but it costs a lot more money. Whereas we have another VA, or we did have another VA that was from Upwork that we paid somewhere between $5 and $8, I think, US dollars an hour. And if you're going to do Upwork, there's a kind of a process that you need to follow. So there's a lot that goes into this. It's something that I help people in the program, but don't mind sharing a few bits. Obviously, I hope you understand I can't share like absolutely everything that people pay for in the program, because that wouldn't be fair. But yeah, you need to make sure that you are being very, very clear with the tasks that you want them to do. So be as detailed as possible. You want to make sure that you're getting as many case studies as possible, and much proof as possible that they've done these tasks before. You don't want to go as low. You don't want to go as low as, I'd say nowadays, under $6 an hour. Maybe you'll get some good people, but you're just going to get low and lower skilled people when you go under that. And $7 an hour is still very cheap to pay someone, and that's still actually very good pay for people in like the Philippines, which in my opinion is one of the best countries to find a VA from. It's probably like double the average salary, by the way, if you're paying them $7 an hour. And yeah, so don't underpay, because you'll regret it. You'll end up getting someone that's crap. Give them a trial run, ask them for a sample of the work you want doing, speak to them face to face, or on the Zoom call. What are the things? Test a few against each other, because you probably go through 3 or 4 before you find the one at least. Yeah, there's a few things to help you.
Okay, would you be able to have you ever done like a month trial or something like that, or done it until they get you a client, for example, then you start paying them like commission based or
I wouldn't do that. You can do, but I've never had a good experience purely commission based. It's attracts the wrong kind of people. Valuable people, so it's skillful people know their worth, and they don't work on commission based unless they know without a shadow of a doubt that the business that they're working for is easy to close for, which, no offense, in your situation, just starting out, they won't have that certainty that leads that they get for you will close, because you're not a huge company, which is totally fine. So I wouldn't do that. You attract the wrong type of people. You will find people, and when you're starting out, you have to be willing to work with low skilled people. It's the way it is. But you're probably gonna have to go through a lot of people and wait a long time to actually see them bring results in. Are these appointment setters or something like that?
yeah, I believe so, yeah. Because I was essentially looking into that until maybe I get my first client or something.
Commission based sucks, yeah. So someone else has just agreed with me on TikTok. Commission based sucks.
Right. Yeah, no, I was just saying because I don't think I'm hitting the outreach that I need to myself, especially going to university. So I think I was looking into that and maybe seeing that as a solution once I get the cash.
Yeah, I'd get a mate to do it. Get one of your friends at uni bought into the vision. I don't know if you've got mates, hopefully. But...
Yeah. I'll look into that then. Would you say like training them, basically just doing outreach, just messaging people and that's it?
Yeah,
Because
just
it's a
train them.
high demand.
Because
Okay.
you're gonna struggle, right, to find, obviously the benefit with that is they trust you to pay them if it works, and they kind of want to help you, and you can sell them the vision and the whole trusting. We've hired loads of friends and it's worked really well a lot of the time, because there's that underlying loyalty to your goal and your vision, and you can't really find that with random people. There's obviously negatives as well, but yeah, get like I used to do this when I was at uni. Not many of them actually managed to. Well, one of them became, and still is, my best salesperson. He started out literally me saying, "Look, do you want to help me out, and I'll pay you base commission." So yeah, that is really good way to start. But a lot of them, didn't actually do that much. But I got like 5 or 6 mates helping out and paying them just on commission, and literally how I started, and it helped a lot. But I don't kind of buy the fact that you don't have time to do that yourself. I obviously was started when I was at uni as well. I think you're in first year, right? I don't know what course you're doing. I know you're an intelligent guy, but uni, you don't have to spend that much time on uni. Like I said to you on the phone the other day, 15, 20 hours a week is more than enough to get results with outreach yourself. And in your situation, all you should be doing is outreach. So 15, 20 hours is like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of businesses you're reaching out to. You do that for 3 months, you should sign a client. But yeah, get help if you want. Try out some mates, but you should be able to do it on your own.
Okay, no worries. I was just basically I thought I needed to exceed that at some point. Um, like if I'm doing 50 a day, 100 a day, if I want to do, some people were saying to do like 500 outreach messages a day. Yeah, like I can't do that basically,
Yeah.
and include the cold call stuff like that. Like some of these numbers, they seem a bit out there. What would you say would be the amount that worked for you when you were starting out?
We were trying to do 100 a day between me and my business partner. Excuse me, my voice went then. But yeah, you like I said before, I think you were here, you got to trade time or you got to trade money. In your situation, like the people that are doing the big numbers, they're trading money for this, ability to send out that money. That's how we progressed. Firstly, get money in the door and then make it pay for itself. As soon as you get your first client, if it's £500, £1,000, whatever it is, that should be enough to then fund more outreach through paying someone, through, investing in softwares, cold emails. I think what I did was I pay my mates like a base fee per outreach and then a commission as well. But only once we'd actually started making money and getting clients in the door. So yeah, let's start off trying to get some mates, but then probably stick on it on your own. Go ahead and try and find commission only people, but you will struggle to find good people, and you'll probably invest more time in that than actually just you should have done it yourself, sort of thing. But yeah, cool. I'm gonna have to go, guys, but sorry, is there one more question? I'll have to take one more question. If not, I'll have to answer it on Discord.
Yeah, sorry, I just had to well, I just wanted to like speak about your experience with uni more. So did you do a finance degree, to my knowledge? How
No.
do you use that knowledge now, or like, yeah, what was your experience balancing SMMA and uni? You kind of already answered that, but yeah.
I started in my final year, so I'd done 2 years studying at uni, then a third year in industry at an investment bank, and then started in the last couple of months in my internship, and then spent all of summer working on the agency, signed those 2 first clients, I think, and then went back to uni in October, and said to myself I was going to drop out if I was earning more than what I was earning at my internship, which was like £1,500 a month post-tax. Ended up being almost near that when I went back to uni, and then a month after going back to uni was earning more than that. Mentioned it to my parents. I'm an only child. My parents funded all of my university, first person in my family to go to university. My parents were upset, obviously, and didn't really understand what I was doing. Probably thought I was dealing drugs or something. Didn't get what marketing was and didn't want me to drop out of uni. And I didn't want to really, really upset my family. So I stuck at it, stayed in uni, but put like 10% of my effort in. Went from on track to potentially get a first to actually getting a 2-2. But by the time I left uni, my agency was doing 25k a month. And then we was at like 70k a month 6 months later, 12 months later, probably. I've not used my degree at all in terms of qualifications. I've used some things from my time there and used some things from my experience there. But if I'd started getting the success that I had done in first year or second year, I would have dropped out. And I'm not telling you to drop out of university, but I personally think that university is a waste of time unless you have a very good degree, and unless you actually really want to go into a career. Like if you want to be really, really rich and wealthy, it's going to be really difficult to do that going down the career path, unless you have a really solid degree and unless you're willing to wait 10 years at least to get a high paying job. That's just my opinion. But
yeah, of course, thank you so much. I mean, I'm not even like starting university yet. I'm actually in sixth form, so this is like a big decision for me because I do want to like will start generating a lot of like revenue in SMMA. And then when I'm at that point, I don't even know if university is something for me. But of course, my parents want me to have some sort of ground basis education. So I don't know if it's worth the investment or not. Yeah.
Again, it's just my opinion. Don't base your life decisions off what some random guy that you found on TikTok says. But I don't know if you thought about it, I would
Of course, yeah.
definitely take a gap year. I did the whole gap year thing, and it was completely life-changing for me. I was in a similar situation to you. You're way ahead of where I was. I didn't want to start a business. Well, I always had an idea that I would, but I was deciding whether or not to go to university or well, I was basically deciding between degrees. I wasn't deciding between going to university or not. And I nearly went and did film studies, which would have been a terrible idea because I'm really passionate about film. And then at the last minute, I decided not to. And turns out that two close friends of mine were going traveling and they just already planned it. And they said, do I want to go along? So I said yes. And by the time I'd come back, I knew what I wanted to do, which was to go to university, work my ass off, get a high paying job, then start a business. I then realized I didn't need to do that. But taking that year out was really, really helpful for me, especially like at the stage you're at. You're obviously like intelligent, you switched on, you want to start a business, you already know a lot more than a lot of people. If you take a gap year and have fun, look, business is great and everything, but it's hard work. And sometimes I sit there and I think, it was great in the days when I had zero responsibilities, because you're young and you don't really get that any other point in your life. You should probably, not try and lose that time that you've got, because business is great and everything, but you'll never get back your younger years, sort of thing. So I would honestly just have fun and try and do something that you want to do, whilst maybe just spending time figuring out what you want to do. Don't go into university because it's the norm and because your parents want you to. I don't know how strict your parents are, and that can be a very difficult conversation to have, but I'm sure if you express it enough, they'll be happy with whatever decision you make.
Yeah, thank you very much. I feel like the only reason why I think that first of all I have to like show some sort of results to really like convince, of course, because like that's really what matters at the end of the day. But yeah, thank you so much for the advice. It's quite an interesting story because from film to finance to marketing, that's quite an interesting jump and just diversity. Yeah. Thank you.
They're very different things, aren't they? But yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Drop me a message if you've got any questions about that. One thing I always hear is a lot of my friends regret not doing the whole gap year traveling thing. A lot of them went to uni. A lot of them, and now said they would do it after uni. Now they're in a job that's good, well paying, and now they've got more responsibilities. They've got girlfriends. They've got whatever. The family's older. They've got more responsibilities. Now they can't do it. Like I said, you can't really get the freedom back that you have at a younger age, and you don't want to ever have regrets doing that. So I don't even know. Obviously, if you don't want to do traveling, if that doesn't appeal to you at all, don't do it. But I know the people that took a year out and just were free to kind of have a bit more fun, work out what they wanted to do. People, maybe if they're interested in business, learn about business. I actually know one guy that worked with me who now works for me, called Daniel, guy from Glasgow. He spent time before uni learning about SMMA, got a bit of success, went to uni, and ended up, realizing that he could start a business a lot earlier than he could have done. So, yeah, just maybe don't rush things. If you're not 100% sure on uni, don't go to uni yet. Take some time to think about it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for the advice. Very valuable.
If your parents want to, argue with me and everything, then I don't mind. But yeah, don't base your life decisions off what I've said. That's just my opinion.
course, yeah.
Cool. I'm going to need to go, everyone. But any more questions, please drop them in the Discord. Anyone on TikTok that's watching, join the Discord. It's free. Go through like live trainings and Q&As every week, unless something happens. And yeah, I'll put the recording of this up on YouTube. I'll pick one random person that was on this call for a free one-to-one coaching session, as I said. Thank you all for joining. Any questions, drop them in the Discord and message me anytime. I'll get back to you when I can. And yeah, anyone interested in like coaching and one-to-one stuff right now, I'm too busy to deal with that. But if you are interested, drop me a message, and when I'm more free, I will I'll get back to you and potentially be able to work with you. But yeah, thank you everyone. Have a nice evening.
Yes, you too. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Cheers, man.